Imagine a world where the woolly mammoth thunders across the tundra again, where the passenger pigeon darkens the sky. De-Extinction. It sounds like science fiction, a dream born from Jurassic Park. But are we truly on the verge of resurrecting lost species? Or is this just a sophisticated echo of Hollywood's grandest fantasies? The promise is immense, but the truth is far more complicated. We are here to ask, is the dream of de-extinction worth the cost and the risks? The first myth we need to dispel is the word resurrection. Scientists are not trying to bring back an exact replica. When they talk about a woolly mammoth, they are actually talking about creating a proxy species. They'd take DNA from a modern elephant, the surrogate, and edit it with ancient mammoth DNA using powerful tools. The main tool is CRISPR. Think of it as a microscopic pair of genetic scissors that can precisely cut and paste the genes they want, like the ones for thick hair or cold resistance, into a modern elephant's blueprint. So it's not the woolly mammoth your ancestors knew, it's an elephant with a thick coat and small ears. It's a genetic ghost of the original. These efforts aren't just vanity projects. They're often driven by an ecological why. The mammoth, for example, is the poster child because of the idea of Pleistocene Park. It's not a theme park, it's a massive real-world experiment in Siberia. The theory is that large herds of mammoths would stomp down the snow, maintaining the grassy tundra and preventing the permafrost and all its trapped carbon from melting. Then you have the thylacine, or Tasmanian tiger, an apex predator whose return is proposed to help control invasive species like foxes and cats in the Australian ecosystem. But before we can even talk about these animals saving the world, we have to face the cold, hard biological realities. The first hurdle is genetics, creating a viable population. Most ancient DNA is fragmented and limited. It's like trying to rebuild an entire library with only half a dozen ripped pages. Without a high degree of genetic diversity, you just end up with a small, fragile, inbred population, a genetic bottleneck. This is how modern species become endangered. We'd be resurrecting an animal that's already on the brink of re-extinction. Then there is the deeply complex ethical issue of surrogacy. To create a mammoth, you need a living elephant to carry the embryo for nearly a 2-year pregnancy, using a technique called somatic cell nuclear transfer, or SCNT. SCNT is the process that created Dolly the sheep. You take the nucleus, which holds the de-extinct animal's edited DNA, and inject it into an unfertilized egg cell from a modern relative, which has had its own nucleus removed. Essentially, you're cloning the past, but using a living modern animal as a host. This process has a brutally low success rate. Think hundreds of attempts, with many deaths and painful failures for the surrogate mother and the developing embryo. If you find the reality of de-extinction this compelling, hit the like button and subscribe. It tells the algorithm this conversation is important. The biggest challenges aren't in the lab, they're in the world itself. Where would these animals live? The world that drove them to extinction is fundamentally changed. The Arctic tundra is not the mammoth steppe of 10,000 years ago. Their ancestral grasses are gone, replaced by moss and shrubs. The Thylacine's old hunting grounds are now suburban parks and farms. And what about disease? These proxy species would lack the evolutionary immunity to modern pathogens that current animals possess. We would be releasing fragile, immunologically naive animals into a biological minefield. But the most pointed ethical question is this: resource allocation. De-extinction is a multi-million-dollar effort to resurrect the dead. But as the philosopher John Vucetich asked, are we okay spending millions to bring back a few creatures when countless living endangered species are dying right now due to a lack of funding? It's the Jurassic Park paradox. We're so focused on whether we can do it, we forget to ask whether we should do it. Look, De-extinction research could lead to breakthroughs that help us save modern species. It might give us the ultimate Noah's Ark tool. But the idea that we can simply play God and hit the undo button on extinction is an illusion. The real ethical responsibility isn't to resurrect a ghost of the past. It's to ensure we don't create more ghosts in the present. It's to protect the astonishing living biodiversity we still have. Is the dream of de-extinction worth the massive scientific, ethical, and financial risks? Or should we focus every resource we have on what we still have? Let me know in the comments below.